Before we start, let's get to know our panelists better. Can you tell us in 1 or 2 sentences your touch points with AI?
Ladies first?
Of course. Hi. So I'm an AI evangelist for, I guess, almost 3 years now, and most of the time I'm busy with selling private GPTs, so data secure GPTs. But on the other hand, I also do lots of speeches about AI ethics and why AI ethics and responsible AI is super important for our companies as well.
Yeah, then let me continue. Andreas Limpak, I'm the head of solution architects at Databricks. Maybe you have heard of us before. We're building platforms to bring all the data together in a governed way and give our customers the option and capability to build AI applications and models. I'm responsible for a couple of industries, actually, which is automotive manufacturing, FSI, and energy. And you hear it by the verticals that they are highly regulated. So the solutions that we are building have kind of touch point to ethical AI and EU AI Act and so on and so forth.
Perfect. Nice to see you all. I'm Sebastian Salomon, CEO of oneBanking, and what we are doing, we are the first banking app ever with an AI model for our customers to save money every day. So while you are here, you can save money with oneBanking. That's the vision. We're a young startup, and we are integrating at the moment also an exchange for cryptocurrencies. And we talk about AI a lot because AI is the future, especially in the finance market.
Yeah, perfect. GM, I think that's the right word for a crypto booth here. And my name is André Liesenfeld. I'm responsible at Microsoft for modern work. Modern work means it's AI included, the M365 solutions, and my role is to sell it to enterprise customers. Enterprise customers means in the retail sector and also in the logistics sector, we're like Deutsche Bank, Deutsche Bahn, Lufthansa, and so on. And my role especially is to have the combination of what can AI deliver and make it sense to implement that in maybe decentralized solution like Web3, like other things that we can talk about today.
Thank you very much. So you see, we have a group of experts, and today we will discuss the key question, how we can keep up with speed of innovation while ensuring to be ethical correctly. So to start, I think we should start with a little tricky question. So when you think about AI risk that keeps you awake at night, which would it be?
I sleep very well. That's first, I sleep very well. But you're right. If you're talking to people, they are using AI, there are a lot of concerns. To use that, make it sense, make it not sense in my private life, make it sense in my business life. And yes, there are a lot of people outside here, they're thinking about, is it the right way? Is it a new technology? Is it a new way of the internet that I must use? And I sleep well because I'm very deep, I have very deep insights in that. But I think many people outside, they're thinking, is this the new thing? And they have a lot of fear about that. Yeah.
Let's see if your colleagues also sleep very well.
Hopefully.
So I also sleep very well at night. I think AI, you just have it to treat it right. So especially in the finance way, it's key that every customer is treated the same. But on the other side, you can't set up 10,000 new employees just to get the workload done. And this is possible with AI. So you can also take the AI that every customer, every user is getting the same and the best service ever. And also the same service and no bias or no preferences or whatever.
Yes.
So I'm not a good sleeper at all, but I can eat quite
At least
good.
One.
No, I think the biggest risk isn't just AI discriminating in a traditional sense. It's more AI silently increases the existing unfairness. So if bias in data and algorithm is not detected, it gets scaled, and that much faster than we can correct it. So it's more like a megaphone for mistakes.
There's not so much that I can add actually, but maybe there's one thing, which is, if I would summarize it, it's trust. It's about the society, how much trust has the society in the technology, and this actually leads to scale. So there are a lot of chances in there. Are we able to build the right trust in the technology, which will never be perfect? We're talking about mathematics and other mechanics to build this, but we need trust to scale it and actually help the society to be maybe kind of better. Yeah, let me say it like this.
Thank you, Andreas. You said that very well, that we don't have to focus just on the risk. We should also focus on the trust side. Of course, AI is a technology that triggers our ethics like no other technology. But let's see the other side, like Andreas said it before. Maybe André, what are the key elements to make responsible AI successfully? What would it be from your view?
The key elements, I think it's three things. You know? The first, we need, in every organization and every person needs an AI governance framework. Yeah? And this framework maybe helps a little bit to reduce the fear, to reduce the angry about AI. If we need a fair system first, we need security and we need transparency in AI tools. And that's the second thing. If we have not the right tools in the organization and in the business, we cannot see that. We cannot measure transparency if we don't have these right tools. To monitor this, to have the idea what's happened, what is the insight, what is the outcome of AI tools. And at the end, many people has concerns and think about that, what can I do, what can I not do? And the last thing, and for me personally is the most important thing, is you need culture change. It's if you have not all people on board, if you know all people in the same room, compliance, management, employees, workings council, you need all people on board to implement AI tools. And if you have done that in the right manner, of a right way, you have ethical concerns in every organization. And personally, I'm talking with many people about that. Yeah? And that's key. The three things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. You already said KPIs and monitoring and stuff like that. Let's switch to your view, Alexandra. I think it's very interesting because you said KPIs and we need to bring all to the table. What do you think about who is responsible for ethical AI in the organization?
So I guess you can't outsource the responsibility. So not to a compliance team, not to the leadership, and not to another single team. Of course, the leadership has to set the tone in a special way, but at the same time, the thoughts on AI ethics and on responsible AI has to be in the DNA of every department that works with AI. And of course, there needs to be a kind of an ethics by design approach. So from the very first code to every strategic decision. So responsible AI is just working if, of course, leadership leads by example, but as well employees are empowered to work with AI. And the very first thought should always be, I want to do an AI project, and how can I do this in a responsible and ethical way?
Okay, that's very interesting, especially because you said, okay, the leadership have to set the tone. Normally I wanted to stay at the regulatory, but let's come back to the regulatory later, and let's go to another puzzle piece, and that's the leadership. Sebastian, what do you think, what role does the leadership really play when it comes to having ethical and responsible AI into the DNA, like Alexandra already said it?
Yes, so it's a key role. You have to do the leadership from the top on. So also the founders team, I'm in the founders team, we are 5 people, and we transfer the spirit to the team and also to our customers, to our community. There are like 10 people here from our oneBanking community just to see us, just to get in touch with us. And I think that's something which, many companies should gather more, that the next step is to combine communities, to be transparent for the community, and so on. And this always starts with leadership, and just lead by example. If you give the right tone in front, then also your team is doing a much better work, and also the community will fit to your points what you make. And that's not so important if you have the cheapest solution. I think the best way is to have a system where you want to be part and you're proud to be part.
It's very interesting and very cool. Okay, we see the puzzle. We had already talking about the risks and the tools to make it safe and the leadership. But let's come back to regulatory, because this panel talk is about ethical and innovation, a balance. And a regulatory landscape is evolving. When we see at Europe, we are looking at the UI Act, the first law for regulate AI in Europe. Andreas, what do you think? The UI Act came into force. Is it an innovation blocker, or can it be, or could it be a benefit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on the deep tech stage here, and it's interesting to talk about the UI Act. However, I'm dealing a lot with it, and I think it's definitely a competitive advantage, because I talked about scaling technology, and we've heard about ambiguity before. I think the regulations at all, EU AI Act, NIST, executive order in the US, or whatever you have some similarities, different structure, but they give guardrails and trust into technology by avoiding the risks. So I think it's a big chance to scale the innovation, reduce the ambiguity, and actually give clear guidelines what is possible and what shouldn't be possible, and prevent to harm actually people, like we've heard bias and other things that may be affected by AI. So in my opinion, I see it as a kind of, you could have, the European Union could have formulated differently and market a little bit better, but okay, we are in Europe, but fundamentally it's a good thing. I'm actually a fan of it, if you believe it or not.
Okay, you said the marketing in the EU is not good.
Yeah, it's about marketing.
Okay, so the UI Act is all about marketing. No, just joking. Let's zoom out and have a macro view, because there are already less regulated markets. Andreas, we will go back from the Europe market, and Alex, maybe we can switch to you. There are less regulated markets. The UI Act has the human in the center, and other regulation, like in the US, they have more innovation in the center. Do you think that our focus that is not on innovation can block us or can leave us behind when we're talking about innovation in Europe? Behind less regulated markets?
It depends. So
Okay.
from my point of view, the EU AI Act is definitely kind of a global benchmark. So Europe shows real leadership with this AI Act. And of course, there are some points within the first draft that could have some weaknesses, yeah? And
I think there are also points now in the final version that could be better.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things to name. I mean, the risk categories, for example. The risk categories are quite broad there, and so they lead to a lot of gray zones. So some of the use cases just don't fit into one of these risk categories, and then, yeah, companies are using the gray zone instead of that. And another critical topic from my side is also that for smaller companies and startups, all these compliance things are extremely costly. So we definitely need a change on that to not punish such companies. And there's also a third thing that, from my point of view, is not quite perfect now, and that is because the UI Act is kind of static from my point of view. So it needs a little bit, needs to be a little bit more dynamic, because some use cases that are qualified in high risk today could be, of course, just normal technology tomorrow, or in 1 year or 2 years. So there is some dynamic features missing. But, of course, the German government is working on a national implementation law at the moment for the AI Act. So there is some room for improvement within the frame the EU gives us. And a few of our experts at Fujitsu are working together with some other experts from different companies, together with Bitkom, on some recommendations for these implementation laws. So there is room for improvement, and we are still working on these improvements. But I mean, to come back to a question, sorry for that. I mean, these kind of regulations are always a balancing act. And I don't think that the EU wanted to slow down innovation with that. I think that markets that build in trust will win in the long term. So, of course, the US, everything is a little bit more free there, but we will win in the long term. And for companies, does that mean if we don't see the AI Act and trusted AI just as a duty, but start seeing it as a real differentiator, we will build sustainable and competitive advantage for this, because trust is not just a cost factor. Trust will be the currency of our future.
Totally agree.
That was a very nice statement to don't look very short term. The US is very aggressive, but look more long term, that Europe builds trust. Let's stay in the regulation topic and let's switch to the high regulated sector, the financial sector. Alex already said, okay, AI is a moving target and the regulation is very static. Let's switch to another sector who has a lot of static regulation and has to deal with it, and has not only to adapt the AI Act, has also to adapt other regulations for AI. And that's the financial sector. Sebastian, what do you think? Is it even possible to keep up with the speed of innovation, short term or long term, to keep up with the speed of innovation while having all this regulation?
So I think we have to get a shift in the mind and don't see always regulation and compliance as a blocker, so more than a framework where you know, okay, if you stay in this framework, you're totally safe. And then you can gather speed and more speed in a perfectly safe way. And I think that's more important than just have no regulations or framework, and later on you will get it back if you do something wrong. So I think you just have to think about compliance not after you build your product, so in front of you build your product, then you know your framework, where are you, and then you can go and move faster, and then everything works really well in this case. Yes, totally, I agree. Also for young startups like us, it's a complex world, and you can't do anything by yourself. So that's our point. We are not here and saying, okay, we are the best bank or banking service. So we are gathering the right partners in the background who are totally regulated, who are this 10, 20, 30 years in the space. So in the banking part and also in the crypto part and then the AI part, we have a big AI development company, S-Pro from Switzerland, and they know exactly what to do, how to do. They have the power of men and women, and can help us a lot until we have the possibility to get it in-house. But I think that's key for young companies, not to do anything by themselves or not everything by themselves, just the key aspects, and all the other parts you need to have big and grown partners. You can grow with them, and also you have the possibility that they exactly know the framework and spend already a lot of money to get this framework.
Very interesting, because you said that can give even speed when the processes are then in place now and everyone knows this is the framework, because it don't lead to confusion. When I look into the audience, I already spot some people from the banking sector, but maybe also from other industries. When you have questions, just give me a little sign and we will bring you the microphone. But just that was just a side note. But just let us keep here. There is a lot of regulation and a lot of frameworks and stuff like that. But it's still not clear how to implement this for a lot of companies. So, Andreas, do you think companies underestimate the role of ethics and compliance officers in AI projects?
Yes.
Totally yes, okay. We can close here. You all underestimate the role.
So when you look at projects, and I'm observing and working on really a lot of projects in this area, there's obviously a need for speed. Everyone wants to have quick time to value, want to create results as soon as possible. And there's one thing that are all yearning to, which is access to data and access to clean data. This is where it all starts. And once the data is available and they can play with models and build applications on it, at one point in time, at the end of the process, they're saying, yeah, there was this tick box thing like EU AI Act or so. And then they're looking at the infrastructure and the processes. What can we do now to be compliant? And they're looking for, and they're trying to use the ambiguity of the EU AI Act to do some tick box checking. But at the end of the day, they are creating probably speedy applications, starting to create value out of the use case, but don't underestimate the chance to lose reputation or something like that. And then the project is starting from the beginning. The officer itself is part of a bigger project, in my opinion, because it's about a program policy, which is a top-level domain of implementing such kind of framework. Then the policies, which actually explain the what and the KPIs. And then the proof, which is actually the built-in of the KPIs in the products. So it needs to be really at the beginning and not at the end, because you are spoiling down everything you built so far, and you're actually slowing down yourself, which is not good.
Okay, very cool. Let's switch up to the not so positive view. A lot of companies are failing when they try to bring responsible AI into practice. André, where do you see the most of companies failing when they try to bring it responsibly into practice and ensure a responsible and ethical AI?
That's a complex question because every company is totally different.
Do you have an industry focus where you can say, okay, my experience is especially in this industry when you're talking about, or do you have a brighter view?
I have a brighter view, but yes, you can right. Split it up a little bit in different sectors and different industries. The financial sector is a little bit faster.
Okay, and Sebastian, did you hear that?
You are faster, definitely.
Sure.
There are, in the retail sector, it's a little bit slower. Most of the failure is they are not talking about the outcome of AI and the ethical concerns inside the company. Because if we have not, in German, Betriebsvereinbarung with the Working Council, it's not so easy to implement all AI stuff because there are so many concerns. And if we are talking about afterwards, after we implement AI, we're testing, we're modeling, we have the tools inside, we have a chatbot and so on, and after that to talk to the people, hey, use that. And the people say, no. Why? It doesn't help. I don't understand it, and I have massive concerns about my data. What's happened with that? Is it only inside my company? Is it outside my company? Is it streamlined to only in the EU? Is it? There are so many discussions about that and concerns about that, and that's the most failure afterwards, after the implementation of AI. My recommendation is talk to all people, and yes, for sure, it's the compliance office, it's the people, it's the management, it's the working council. Many people are involved to bring up AI to a good and to the good life and a good idea inside the company.
Okay, very interesting. Maybe one question that will be a little bit more in Sebastian's view. Do you agree to André what he said? That he said, okay, the financial sector is a little bit faster.
So also it depends how you use it. So in our case, we are doing every second week an open call for all the communities, for all the customers to get in touch with what is our AI doing. And we know definitely if we don't do that, nobody knows it, nobody will use it. Because in the first thing, they want to have what they already know. There's, lovelier what you know than what you don't know. It could be risky. And so we get them more and more in touch. What could the AI get benefits out of them? So in our case, it's possible you can save money with the AI. The AI is connected to 1,000 of comparing platforms like Check24 or something else. And so you can get the best setup for your insurances, for your phone, for your subscriptions and so on. And this is also not just for end consumers, also for business clients. And this is a really important tool to use it because many businesses spend a lot of money to get an overview where they can save money. And it costs like 10,000 and more to do it yearly and yearly. And this is something the AI can do better and faster in real time. And there's no problem. But also, you have to keep informing the people how we are building is, how the transparency is, and also the complexity of the AI, that they know why the AI is giving me this important choice. And I can ask also, I have an explainable AI when I can ask, okay, why is it the way I get treated like this? And then I get, okay, over your last transaction, I see that's perfect for you. And then the customer knows, okay, perfect. I can gather the information out of the AI, think about it, and can use it.
Okay, Sebastian said in the banking sector, you need to bring up all the people on the table, and there are a lot of processes that have potential where you can see this and see and present it to the others in the company, so everyone is understanding it. And that is a key thing that will help AI to not fail. So, are there any questions from the audience? There is a question. I will give you my microphone.
Yes, thank you. My name is Mira Scheidemann, also from PwC. One question to Alex, maybe, because you said something that I found really interesting when you said responsibility can't be outsourced, and you kind of have to ignite it in every employee to act responsible when interacting with AI. How do you, or is there like a strategy behind that? How do you ignite that in your employees when you communicate about your internal AI tools, about the company's AI strategy? Where's the balance, so to say, between making them afraid of, oh, all of this can go wrong, and on the other side, hey, there are so many possibilities, but you need to be responsible?
I mean,
thank you.
It always helps to have a good example in your leadership. So if you, as an employee, see how your boss is working with AI, it helps a lot to have some fun, to discover some own use cases where I want to use this. So, I mean, leadership is the first thing from my side, and of course there needs a kind of a government framework which also contains trainings, and maybe we also had some companies where we had consulting there, and we did some small weekly challenges with all the employees. It was quite fun. It was just fun challenge to who could build the coolest picture to a topic XYZ or what else. So we were quite interested to not the employees being afraid of AI, but having some fun in using AI. And fun is always, from my point of view, the best way to learn and to want to use something new.
I can add it a little bit. We are a big company, and it was not so easy to implement AI also in our company, because I'm on the same page. There are many people inside Microsoft, they are concerned about AI, for sure. Why not? Yeah, we have people. And but if you are playing a little bit, if you are testing a little bit, if you have this idea of, hey, that is funny, yeah. It's a combination of culture change, it's a combination of management change, it's a combination of all things together to make, hey, this is new, it's funny, you have a little bit, it's like, oh, it's a new internet. Yeah, you have a new feeling like a startup. If you can bring that to a big company, then you can change their mind. And that's very important to not to bring it down from top level down. They say, hey, we're using AI because it's so funny, so it's important for us. Nobody understands that. I must use it, I must feel it, and then I can, get it in my company. Yeah.
So it's a little bit a gamification character. Before I came up to a wrap-up, I already see another question before. A hand rise. Ah, yeah. Oh, 2 hand raises. I will try to keep up with the time. Yeah, please first.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Mulazem, manager of IT and digitalization in EBZ.
A little bit louder.
Manager of IT and digitalization in EBZ Bochum. My question is about balancing between innovation and ethics. Alex says about the AI should be in DNA of organization. At the other hand, we are not born in the atmosphere that we are growing up with AI, but we are facing off a new generation of innovation in the world. Parallelly, we need to get the benefit of AI in our organizations. How we can make this balance, or because we cannot inject DNA in our organization, how is the best practice or a strategy to make our colleagues ready to use that?
Okay.
Thank you.
How to make the colleagues ready to use that, but in just short sentences, because we have to keep up with the time.
Oh,
Okay,
I
then
can
try
make it
it.
short. Gamification again.
Yeah, gamification, learning. The first step was, hey, we have Copilot in our environment. Okay, what is Copilot? First, explain it a little bit. And then, weekly gamification. We have weekly learning days, weekly, 1 day for all employees to learn about only this tool, weekly.
So high investment.
Yeah, high investment from the company to the employees.
Okay.
Very short.
Is it? Okay, he's happy with the answer. so there was one last but not least question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm from the PwC Deutschland. I'm an intern. I would be interested. Do you think that, or you don't think that AI seem for many workers maybe like a threat? I mean, like I don't know, like a problematic thing, because they think that it could be, for example, my future job, and that's why people don't want to learn it. Or do you think that that kind of issue is also there at companies, that AI, okay, it's good for now, but maybe the people feels it that, okay, that could be a problem for me in the future? Like, yeah. Thank you very much.
So maybe I take this one.
Okay.
I think it's just the shift also in mind. It's not because we have the internet, there are no jobs in the real world. It's a combination out of the internet and out of the real world. And this is the same with the shift of AI. That's not just, okay, AI will do the work in the future, because you also want to get the personal contact to the business, to the service, and so on. And we just have to think about how to use AI. But if we don't use AI, I think that will get a really big problem, because you can't do a good concurrence to your other clients in the market, because if they use AI, saves money with AI, they always be ahead of you, do a better marketing and so on. So I think in every possible company should be an AI department, but not thinking about, okay, how could I save money and getting rid of my employees, more how to get my employees to use the AI to get better results and to take maybe more of the market. That's also some of the mindset we have together. And I also think that should also come from the top down, that it's an ethical thing. You can empower your employees if you give them the right treatment with AI.
So when the employees are afraid that they lose the job?
So I think it was when the company has the possibility to drop their employees instead of getting AI in touch. I think that's something the good companies won't do. because good employees are key. This is, you can have the best AI tools. If you have nobody to use it, it will be useless.
So it seems like there are new jobs and not losing jobs a lot. I see a lot of hand rises, but sorry, we just have to keep up with the time, and we just have a little time left. But thank you. These panelists are later also here, and you can catch them up with your questions. But let's wrap up with some questions. I have prepared a question for each of you, and you have to answer them in 1 or 2 sentences. So really, the last practical takeaways that you all guys can take with you. André, I will start with you. If you had to name one concrete first step that companies should take to make AI responsible, what would it be?
Make an AI responsible framework. Make a framework with all your employees, get in touch with them, talk to the people, bring it all to the table, and then you have a successful AI solution inside your business.
Okay.
Framework, yeah.
So, governance framework is his answer. Andreas, we had today the talk about balancing innovation and ethics. We had here the first step to make it responsible. What would it take to make it responsible and also innovative?
Implement it really into the development process of AI models and applications right from the beginning. So bring the processes and the definitions and the KPI to practice as soon as possible when you're dealing with AI.
Okay, very cool. And now let's go away from how to make it to the top leadership. Sebastian, you are the co-founder and the CEO. So what is the biggest mindset shift what you would embrace, you think leaders need to embrace to make responsible AI like a DNA of a company and not just a program that has a start and the end date?
Yes, I think also it's the gamification in mind. You have to take the fun part out of it, creating solutions, helping people, and also getting in touch with people, because when you know the problem of many customers, you can better solve them than just be in your own mind and think, okay, that's probably the solution the world needs, and then you're programming and doing a lot of stuff, and afterwards you find out that's not the key point. So I think getting in touch with the real person who need your product is key, and also, yeah, just focus on your goals, focus on yourself, and get the work done.
Okay. Very cool. And let's come to the last question for today that hopefully gives you a lot of impact. So we had already one concrete first step, clear governance. Then we had what does it take to make it innovative, and we have the biggest mind shift. We heard a lot about bring all the people to the table. We heard a lot about gamification and stuff like that, make the fun part of it. Alexandra. We talked today about regulation, clear AI governance, bring them all to the table, implement it, like Andreas said it, very at the beginning of the process that everyone is already aware of AI ethics. If we meet in 2 years again at the conference, and I think we will meet here again, what do you think, what would be the progress we would talk about in the field of responsible AI?
So my dream for that would be that we will no longer discuss if responsible AI is important, but how we can put it into practice. So I would love to hear that companies have learned that responsible AI is not a barrier. It's more the foundation for innovation that moves us all forward.
Thank you very much. So in the next year, you don't hear some questions about is it an innovation blocker, and more like how we can put it more into practice. Thank you, and thank the audience also for your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.